Australia is home to beautiful coastlines and picturesque beaches. However, it is the stunning inland waterholes that truly displays the country's natural beauty, locations where you'll discover idyllic waterfalls and cascading river systems. In the middle of a lush far northern Queensland rainforest sits an unsuspecting waterhole which has been considered to be one of Australia's most haunted areas. This haunted swimming hole is located in Babinda, far north Queensland. It is a very popular destination for Australian hikers, backpackers and tourists. The crystal waters of Babinda Creek actually begin their journey flowing down from one of Queensland's highest mountains, a mountain known as Mount Bartle Frere. This creek flows down through luscious rainforests, and along their way, these crystal waters flow through a waterhole called Babinda Boulders, or by its more popular name, the Devil's Pool. At these boulders, there is a junction of three streams, and this is such a beautiful sight to see. The streams tumble over the boulders along the water-worn granite bed streams and continue on surging through huge boulders, only to disappear into a bubbly cascade some 50 or so feet below. And all of this can be viewed by standing on a rocky platform higher up. The name Babinda means water flowing over rocks. Babinda is considered sacred ground by the local indigenous people. The Devil's Pool are not just an amazing swimming hole. This area also holds great significance to the local Aboriginal people. And so, according to legend, a beautiful girl named Ulana from the HdGreenStudio people married a respected elder from her tribe. His name was Wurrunu. Shortly after their union, another tribe moved into the area and a handsome young man came into Ulana's life. His name was Daiga, and the pair soon fell in love. Realizing the adulterous crime they were committing, the young lovers escaped their tribes and fled into the valleys. The elders captured them, and Ulana broke free from her captors and threw herself into the still waters of what is now known as Babinda Boulders, calling for Daiga to follow her. As Daiga hit the waters, Ulana's anguished cries for her lost lover turned the still waters into a rushing torrent. The land shook with sorrow. Huge boulders were scattered around the creek, and the crying Ulana disappeared among them. Aboriginal legend tells of Ulana's spirit still guarding the boulders, and her calls for her lover Daiga can still be heard. And so this Aboriginal legend telling of forbidden love is said to be the reason why so many young men have died at the popular swimming spot and sacred Aboriginal site. Since 1933, over 17 people, and some sources say this number is higher, have lost their lives at the Devil's Pool and are said to have been victims of careless behaviour on the rocks and deceptively strong currents. All but one of these people to lose their lives were men. A sign in front of the Devil's Pool gives explicit warnings to people venturing in the area. These rock pool waters are more familiarly known as the washing machine because it goes around and around. It is all bubbles, so there is no buoyancy, and it's dangerous water. It sucks you under. After the death of James Bennett at the Devil's Pool, the waterhole and its surroundings, including the washing machine, were declared a no-go zone for swimming. James Bennett and his friends were out exploring the boulders for the day. They jumped the railing and were sitting in the washing machine. It was calm when suddenly James was violently yanked backwards as if an invisible hand had dragged him back towards the churning white water at the back of the pool. James was then said to reach up to grab a branch, but the branch snapped, after which he struggled. He appeared suspended helplessly in the water for no apparent reason, the tips of his fingers protruding from the surface as he struggled to survive. And he remained like this while his friends tried to reach out to him, but then he sank down into the depths of his fate. And it was not until 3 days later that the body of Mr. Bennett would be found floating in a calmer section of the stream. A plaque was later erected which read, he came here for a visit and stayed forever. And while reckless behaviour and treacherous currents may account for a number of drownings in this location, the higher number of deaths of young males in the swimming hole appear extraordinary, especially when you consider that not all the victims were swimming in the water at the time. In one instance, a young couple stood together on the rock platform, admiring the view when, according to a witness, without any warning, the waters suddenly rose, sweeping both into the water. While the girl was lucky to survive, her male companion was not so lucky. It does appear that visitors, rather than locals, fall victim to the seemingly cursed pools. According to local Aboriginals, if you disrespect a sacred site, the site will disrespect you, and this appears to be illustrated by the story of a young man who was seen by others showing his disrespect by kicking the plaque that commemorates those who have lost their lives at the pool. As he kicked the plaque, he slipped, fell into the pool and drowned. A few years ago, it was suggested by locals to end the deaths, to blast the Devil's Pool with dynamite and turn the whole area into rubble, a suggestion which obviously would have failed to respect the sacred site. Luckily that did not occur. It makes you wonder what fate would have awaited anyone who attempted to carry out such an act of destruction of such a sacred site. And so, what are we to make of this mysterious waterhole and the apparent high number of deaths? Is this really the lovelorn spirit of Ilana, luring young men to their deaths in the icy cold waters of the Devil's Pool? Is it really possible that this sacred site can have evil energy that is capable of taking lives? Are these high number of deaths not so unusual, considering this is such a dangerous waterhole? Or maybe, just maybe, the legend of Ilana and Diga is actually meant as a warning for locals not to swim in the dangerous waters of the Devil's Pool. Thank you for watching, and remember to hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified of my next video.